Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedics, go to Brock Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. What in the world just happened there? I don't even know. You need a roof? Give us a shout. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. A Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss. Do the whole thing over telemed, and that's what I wanted at all. Sorry. Uh, um, and they can ship anywhere in the country, so no need to even go into the office. And 50% off throughout the month of August. So counting down the days for that promotion still to be valid. And of course, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Okay, y'all, let's get rolling here. You know the drill. I don't know why that worked. That didn't work. Here we go. Anyway, sorry. I don't know why that wasn't working, but it is now. So we're good. Let me get a little scroll on the bottom. There we go. Okay, now I can have you. I can give you my undivided attention. I can stop tooling around with everything that I thought it already had done already. Okay, we'll say some good morning. So a busy day on Saturday. Of course, college football got started. Nick Saban picked LSU to make the college football playoff. That's the lead that I have in today's Locked on LSU. If you want to check that out, Aidan Anding, cornerback out of Ruston, picked LSU. So now the third cornerback here for LSU's class of 2025. You get DJ Pickett, the number one cornerback in the country. Aidan Anding out of Ruston here most recently. And a couple weeks ago, LSU flipped Cade Phillips from Texas. So a guy from Missouri City, the Houston area, who's flipped from Texas to LSU. Now Aidan Anding. So three corners in the class of 2025 for LSU. The not so great news is that Jonah Williams, five-star number one safety, did pick Texas. If you were here yesterday, told you that was kind of the lean. Texas's NIL offer was significantly bigger than LSU's, and they weren't going to be able to close that gap. Kid was pretty torn, just wanted it to be over. I think LSU continues to recruit him all the way to the end, and we see what might happen there. But Jonah Williams picks Texas. Gave it a good run, and considering you get the number one quarterback, number one running back, number one cornerback, it would have been nice to add the number one safety as well, but wasn't in the cards. Still a great class for LSU, and a lot of work still to do. Because remember, with the new scholarship limit of 105, you're adding 20 more players, scholarship players to this roster than you normally would. So, what we typically see on a signing class, 25, 28, something like that, it's going to be higher this year. Of course, Saints game day as well. Saints Titans. Let me know what you're keeping an eye on. I am going to be very interested to see Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener today, to see which one of those guys might make, hey, third preseason game. You've had all of camp. It's time to decide. I mean, you got a game coming up in a little more than a week. So, you got to decide if something were to happen to Derek Carr, who's going in the game? Trevor Penning, Oli Udo at right tackle. That's another battle worth keeping an eye on. Penning has certainly struggled. He hasn't locked it down, but nobody's taken it from him. Could Oli Udo play well today and maybe take that? Then you're looking at your roster bubble guys. Can Rico Payton make this team? Where are the other spots where you look? What about the kickers? The kicker, punter, specialist. I'm so sorry, y'all. I have got to take this call. This is from Erica. This is from Erica's dentist. I told you we had a dental emergency. I've got to take this. I'm so sorry. very sincerely sorry for that. Erica had Erica had a little bit of a dental emergency on Friday morning. And by the way, that was Dr. Stephen Shannon calling me at 9:00 on a Sunday morning because he's awesome. If anybody needs a dentist ever, like I've seen him for 25 years, phenomenal. Cannot speak highly enough of him as not only as a dentist, but as a person. And I mean, look at that. Got calling me at 9:00 on a Sunday morning. I mean, checking on Erica. So if you need a dentist, Dr. Stephen Shannon, go to, no matter what part of the town I've lived in, moved around, from since I was in high school. So high school, college, now an adult, no matter where I keep going there. So anyway, big shout out to Dr. Shannon. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me jump into the comments to get straight to you. So my apologies for that. I didn't mean to keep you waiting. I know that's very rude, but I appreciate y'all for being here as always. All right. Andy Whitaker, haven't heard any of you media guys mention this yet, but Tiger Stadium has always been quite dim compared to other stadiums. Hopefully the new lights will brighten it up. Yeah. So Andy, so the lights are meant to illuminate the field, not the stands and all that stuff. And that's specifically, obviously, so people could see, but the more keen reason in the modern era is for TV. So like you'll see sometimes at smaller stadiums, whenever if there's a game that's going to be taking place, the TV production will bring in extra banks of lights to illuminate the field for the broadcast. So that's never really been a problem at LSU. As far as the stands, I just think the construction of the stands is so vast. You're not lighting the upper deck. You're trying to light the field. Anyway, Merrick Mathern, hey Devin, good morning, Scone Dog. Jesse, good morning. Wish Jaden Daniels got to play this year's FSU team. That outcome, I think, would be different. Goes to show you how good of a quarterback Jordan Travis is, right? Florida State's defense was still pretty good yesterday, but Georgia Tech was really able to run the football well. And Matthew Landry, the new lights look sweet. Yeah, man. I'm not super big on like the strobe light, the flashing light show, but I know a lot of people are going to like it. It's cool. Bubba, good morning. Why couldn't we play the Florida State team last year? They bullied them in the trenches. That's true. By the end of the game, Georgia Tech was just running over them. I mean, no Jared Verse, no Braden Fisk. I mean, yeah, different team. Spectrum WellCare, Georgia Tech's offensive line dominated Florida State's great defensive line. They lost a bunch of NFL guys. Melody, morning, Matt. How about CFB week 0? Wish we got that team. That's what everybody's saying about Florida State. So I guess, I mean, there's always that component of it, I guess I wasn't even thinking about last year and but yeah, I guess so. Andy Owen, good morning. Gotcha, Andy. Brad, good morning. CCC, morning ago. Didn't realize LSU had top 5 recruiting class the past 3 seasons. Not many excuses for these coaches to have these players playing with the big dogs. Well, the big difference CCC is the transfer portal, right? So like part of those top 5 classes were Walker Howard and Lance Hurd and Jaylen Brown, by the way, who played a ton for Florida State yesterday, the receiver number 6. Recruiting those classes is great. You got to hold on to them and develop them as well. Kevin, good morning. Head to baseball field this morning. Watch my son work on my retirement plan. I'm pulling for you. Saban also had FSU as the 3 seed. LOL. But Andy, you got to remember. This is important to remember. The first 4 seeds are not necessarily the 4 highest ranked teams. Seeding is different than ranking because the top 4 seeds are conference champions. So Florida State could be ranked 20th, hypothetically, but if they win the ACC, they're seeded in the top 4 and they get a bye. So it's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame does not play in a conference. So the highest seed Notre Dame can be in a playoff. They could be the number 1 team in the country, but the highest seed they can be is 5 because they don't play in a conference, can't win a conference championship. So you got to remember the difference between seeding and ranking. So yes, Saban in his bracket where he had LSU 11th had Florida State 3, but that's not saying he thought Florida State was third best team. He just had them winning the ACC, which that took a ding yesterday, obviously losing a conference game to Georgia Tech. Taz, will we get Bama's burning rant after Saban picked the Bulldogs to win the SEC? Nah. I think that's just smart. Christian, morning, Matt. If our run game is as devastatingly dominant as Georgia Tech was against Florida State, we definitely have a chance to do something special this year. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Wish we could have played Florida State the last 2 years. Pretty common refrain here this morning. Wendell Norman, Mycela Mystic, good morning. Abner, morning, Matt. God has blessed me today. Make it that a baby. All right, Abner Neal. Everybody raise your coffee, man. How about that? A toast to Abner today. 80 years old. How about it? 80 years old. And look at that. 80 years old, hanging out on YouTube, learning new tricks. I love it, man. So good to see you, Abner. Happy birthday. Hope it's an awesome day. Hope you get to blow out 80 candles and you get all the great gifts that your family treats you awesome today. That's awesome. Merrick, do any starters play today for the Saints? So report I know we got up at LouisianaSports.net. I know Ross Jackson filed this. Oh, Ross. Okay, cool. Ross's What to Watch is already up. Oh, here's the report. I know it's from yesterday. Let's see. I'll read it for you. LouisianaSports.net, y'all, by the way. Ross has his What to Watch. Got this report here. Saints will be resting quite a significant number of starters, including Derek Carr. So my assumption is you'll have Rattler and Haener each get a full half. Any more? So he's saying that Fuanga and Penning will likely play just because Penning needs the reps. They both need the reps, and Fuanga missed the game last week. But the big story, Haener and Rattler. Cool. Yeah, so get over to LouisianaSports.net, y'all, if you haven't checked it out yet. We really made our debut last week for the Saints game. It was pretty awesome, man. That we probably pumped 7-10 pieces of content just around the game, pre-game, during the game, and post-game as well. Hi. Ghostbuster. Okay. Yeah, so the What to Watch is up. The story about the starters sitting. Hunt's got the in-depth chart up right now on tight end. So he's doing a position-by-position breakdown for LSU. So he's got the in-depth chart on the tight ends right now. Chris Marler, social media's reaction to Florida State's Week 0 loss. Got the commitment stories from yesterday with Aidan Anding and Jonah Williams. So it's all up there at LouisianaSports.net. Y'all check it out. Ryan, Tiger fans going to be mad we didn't get Jonah Williams. I understand, but I hope nobody forgets they've gotten Wright, Pickett, now Andy within the last month. Yeah, man. They're more than fine. Look, I would have loved for them to have gotten Jonah Williams. As a two-sport guy, yes, of course. I am still curious, y'all, and I know he plans to go to college and play two sports, and I'm sure Texas with NIL budget can I'm not gonna say they're gonna make him whole, but can certainly make him wealthy. What happens when the draft rolls around this summer? And if he's a top half of round one guy. Now, the other thing I was told yesterday is that Jonah Williams is planning on skipping his senior baseball season at Ball to be able to get ready to early enroll and go through spring football at presumably Texas now. So if you miss your senior season of baseball, what does the draft think of you? Worth thinking of. Taz, are the Saints missing a speed running back in their running game scheme? No. I mean, I think Kamara can be that. I think Kendrick Miller can be that if he ever gets on the field. Gonna get on the field. Jesse Brown, who are the receivers you're keeping for the Saints? Well, I think we know the first three for sure. With Olave, Shaheed, and A.T. Perry. I think that next group is kind of curious. I would assume Cedric Wilson makes the team, and then I would tell you, let's keep an eye on Bub Means. I mean, they used a high enough. Was he fourth or fifth round? Round 5. So they used a fifth rounder on Bub Means. Doesn't mean you're going to make the team as a fifth rounder, but you're going to have more opportunities. And especially since they really didn't go out and address receiver in a big way in the offseason, I would think they're going to give him every opportunity to make the team. So let's keep an eye on that today, see how it goes. Larry Garner, good morning. Melody, I'm interested in Rattler. I think he's QB2, possibly competing at some point for QB1. Interesting, Melody. We'll see how today goes. I actually feel like, so here's my feeling on this, and I'm not telling you I'm right. It's just my guess is your guesses. We're just guessing. I get the feeling, just listening to the coaches, reading the reports, that Hayner's been better than Rattler. I think Rattler is the fan pick and probably the guy physically with the higher ceiling. But if you just look at the fact that Hayner's been there for this is his second year now, and they were pretty evenly matched throughout camp, I think Hayner probably is in the lead. Like, I think Hayner probably starts the game today and Rattler gets the second half. So I think even slightly Hayner has the lead. But again, I don't know. Your guess is my guess is we'll wait and see what the coaches say. Let's see. LSU's had athletes, brand, facilities, and attractiveness as any other program. What reasons why LSU can't make a consistent run like Georgia and Bama have done over the past decade? So I think you forget. LSU, since 2003, has won 3 national titles and played for a 4th. The only team to win more titles in that era is Alabama. So I just fundamentally disagree with your point. Like, the math doesn't work. Now, Georgia won back-to-back titles, and I understand they've established themselves right now, and Kirby's done a great job of recruiting, and he's established Georgia as the premier power in college football right now. LSU isn't that. I'm not saying that. But if you want to look over the past 20 years of what LSU has been and what Georgia has been, there's no comparison. Even if you want to look at the last 10 years, yes, Georgia's won 2 national titles and LSU's won 1, but the end of the Mark Richt era wasn't fantastic, and Kirby took a little while to get going. He's got it rolling now. The problem I think that you have, that really everybody has, is Nick Saban distorted your worldview. Like, Alabama won 6 titles in 12 years. That's never happened anywhere ever. So, I mean, it sucks that the greatest dynasty in the history of this sport was in your division, not only in your conference, but in your division. And it was led by a coach that used to be your coach. So you had to sit there and stare at it, year after year after year. That stinks. But the same thing you're saying about Georgia right now, people were saying about Clemson 5 years ago. And where's Clemson now? So let's see what the next 5 years looks like for Georgia. Brian, good morning. From Clarksville, Indiana, was watching Terry Bowden podcast. Said he thinks LSU is going to be in the playoff. Very cool. Hope so, man. Hope they're all right. Hypothetically, had Jonah committed, how would that work for baseball? Isn't the roster limited to 35 now? So yes, the extra COVID spots cycle off this. Let me make sure that's right. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're still going to keep Jonah Williams on your roster. So what you will do is you have so next year roster's limited to 34. So this is the new rule with the new scholarship. So it's 34 and it's a head count sport now. So everybody gets a full scholarship. So it's 34 and everybody gets a scholarship. But you make it work. So you go through fall ball and then you purge your roster as needed to make sure you get within your requisite numbers. That's how it's always been. Mark Bacon, Cortland, DJU, still DJU. It's true. Austin, good morning. Brian, Matt, if the 2003 champions didn't lose the game to Florida, you think that would be one of the best ever in college football? No, they wouldn't be considered that, Brian. There's been a lot of undefeated national champions, and I'm not look, I love that team. I'm not trying to discredit them. And there was plenty of talent all over the field. Especially in this day and age, though, where you look at offense. Like that wasn't a super dominant team offensively. They had great players now. I mean, Justin Vincent emerged late in that season as a freshman, became a 1,000-yard rusher. You had NFL receivers with Michael Clayton and Devery Henderson. You had a really good offensive line. Of course, Whitworth was on that team in 2003. Stephen Peterman, who obviously played a long time in the NFL as well. So you had a really good team. Matt Mock got drafted and played in the NFL. So I'm not saying it was a bad, trust me, I mean, they won the national championship. But that team certainly was centered more around their defense. So no, I don't think they would have been considered one of the greatest of all times, but they were the best team in college football that year, and it was mostly because nobody was going to score in that defense. Melody, I'm not as bummed about Jonah Williams thought it would be, as much as he says he committed to college. If he gets drafted, he may never make it to campus. That's true, but I think I referenced this just a minute ago. The thing that I'm going to be most curious about is how do scouts view him if he doesn't play his senior year? For example, Cade Arambidi. Cade Arambidi is a catcher from Texas who signed with LSU. He's coming in as a freshman this year. Cade Arambidi is one of those guys that was projected at this time a year ago as a first-round pick. Played his senior year, had some injury issues, struggled with the bat a little bit, and so his stock dropped. I mean, he dropped into, he was going to be like a round 3-4 guy maybe. And he wanted and had his mindset on round one money. So would there still be a team that would take that type of risk on Jonah Williams if he doesn't play his senior year, right? I don't know. So it's worth watching that play out, obviously. All right, please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post, all this stuff. Oh, by the way, shout out to everybody yesterday. I got 929 Misfits pinned in the chat. A ton of people went and bought the Nuss Bus shirt that I was wearing yesterday. And I'll put it on Facebook as well for those. So there's Nuss Bus, there's the FUSC shirt, there's Let the Band Play Neck, there's lots of good stuff. There's a Tiger Tay if you're like E-Rock, or there's a person in your life who loves Tay Tay. Anyway, check this one out. This one just went up yesterday. I think this one's really cool. What y'all think about that one? I love that design. Obviously, the star is up there in Monroe, where Will Campbell's from. 66, obviously, we all know what that's for. So the jersey number, the star where he's from. The big hat tip to those in North Louisiana, especially if you know someone from Neville or you just love the best offensive lineman in LSU history. Check that one out. That's at 929 Misfits. That went up yesterday. So 929misfits.com and get your merch. Get your merch. All right, Irfan Sayad always wondered if there was some unwritten rule of adding an N in Polynesian names like Fuanga. Oh, I don't know if it's unwritten rule. That's just the pronunciation. Like Tua is Tungo Vailoa, and it's not Fuaga, it's Fuanga. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's an unwritten rule. I mean, I think that's how you pronounce the name. I would say, man, how's your mama say it? However your mama says your name, that's all say your name. What'd your mama call you? So if it's Fuanga, it's Fuanga. It's like Tua was Tungo Vailoa. We also had Tua Tagovailoa for a long time until we realized, so it's Tungo Vailoa. Okay, cool. Tungo Vailoa. How much did he get paid, Jonah? I don't know what the number was. I know the gap, like how much more they offered than LSU did. And it was significant. The gap was significant, so the number was significant. Brian Pint, let's see. Go Joe. What would it take for you to get on the car bandwagon? Joe, I don't know what you're expecting to see, man. Like, this man has been in the NFL for 10 years. 10 years. Like, guys that are in the NFL for 10 years don't all of a sudden become all-pro championship caliber quarterbacks. Now you're going to say, what about Stafford? Stafford has been a great quarterback in Detroit for a lot of years. Got Detroit to the playoffs, was a really good player. He was just in a terrible organization. Went to a more stable organization, a better spot with a good coach, and they won a Super Bowl. Like, nobody thinks Derek Carr and Matthew Stafford are the same. I mean, Stafford had a 5,000-yard season in Detroit. Derek Carr is he's just an okay player. He's a lower mid, upper bottom tier starting quarterback in the NFL. That's just what he is, man. So what would it take? Derek Carr at 34 years old or whatever he is now to completely reinvent himself and prove that he's an all-pro caliber quarterback. Like, he's 33. So I just know what he is, man. I mean, we all know what he is. There's a large enough sample size for you to know what Derek Carr is. And he's a good player. He's a starting player in the NFL. I mean, he's better than Aidan O'Connell, but he's never going to be Josh Allen. I mean, he's just, we know what he is. Mark Allen, do you think Jay's going to give up on Jonah? No. Justin, I was reassuring hearing Saban think Nuss as a dark horse quarterback this year. Agree with that. Because he knows, Deborah, the kick was beautiful. Jerry G, game day. Who dat? Love it. Craig, 7 days away. We were 7 days away, y'all. 7 days away from LSU and USC in Vegas. We're waking up in 7 days and it'll be game day. Hey, Juan, good morning. Want to give a big thank you to Dr. Etheridge at Brock, taking great care of my son that was injured in spring football earlier this year. He's now recovered, ready for the upcoming season. Dr. Etheridge is awesome. By the way, to Juan's point here, so if you don't know, Dr. Stephen Etheridge at Brock is also one of LSU's team physicians. So he's on the sideline with LSU. When a player gets injured, he's one of the ones that runs out on the field to take care of him. So the doctor that took care of Juan's son is the same doctor that's taking care of like LSU injuries stuff. That's the caliber of care you get at Brock. So yes, brortho.com. By the way, weekend, so after hours clinic open nights and weekends. So if you find yourself in need of an orthopedist today, Sunday, or on the weekend, you can always pop on into Brock right there on Bluebonnet near Perkins in Baton Rouge. Jason Champagne, looking forward to celebratory whiskey and wine next week. Me too, Jason. It's way more fun when they win. Matthew, God forbid if we lose to USC, will we finally consider a week 0 game? Matthew, look, you got Clemson next year. You got the next 2 years, you got home and home with Clemson. So next year you open at Clemson. So, I mean, I think there's probably some talk and some merit there. Look, they tried last year. They tried to move the Grambling game and couldn't get it done. But so I think it's one of those where it's not out of the realm of possibility that you consider it. We saw our first upset in college football Saturday. Yeah, we did. Brian, 6 days in a wake up. You got it. Brian LeBlanc. Morning, Matt. How about the Ramblin' Wreck? How about him, man? Got to feel good for Brent Key. Just stay the course. And Haynes King. I mean, it wasn't a thing of beauty, but they controlled the line of scrimmage. And I'd say after that first drive, when Florida State went right down the field, got the 2 point first drive of the game to go up 8-0, you're like, and then Georgia Tech went right down and scored 8-7, and you're like, all right, game on. Austin, if Dr. Shannon is booked there for kidder dentist in the Baton Rouge area, you can see too. That is very true. Much love and respect for all the kidders. But Austin, when you and I were still fighting each other in Taekwondo, my family was seeing Dr. Shannon. Well, actually, we saw Dr. Sibley. When Dr. Sibley retired, Dr. Shannon, I guess, took over his practice. And so we started seeing Dr. Shannon, and he's awesome. Awesome. For those that, a lot of you just about 250 watching live, if you missed it earlier, Erica had a little bit of she had a major dental emergency on Friday, and Dr. Shannon, on his day off, went and saw her, got her in, and we've been kind of nursing it this weekend, hoping it'll improve. And so he just called at like 9:00 on a Sunday morning to check on her. And we may actually have to get her in the chair again today too. So y'all offer up some prayers when you're at church today for E-Rock. Need to get her on the mend. And she's really disappointed too, because we're supposed to be going to Vegas. We are going to Vegas we're leaving on Thursday. So we need to get all of this rectify and get her feeling good, you know. Okay. Ryan, SMU had to come back and barely beat Nevada as a 3-score favorite. Going to be a rough year for them in the ACC. I agree with that too. Jerry, Matt, do you think the FSU fan base are tripping because they lost to Georgia Tech? They wanted Mike Norvell fired after one game. Your thoughts? I don't know that I would say that's the entire representation of the fan base. There's always dorks on every team and every fan base. I mean, whatever. I don't really care what fans at Florida State think about their coach. They just led them to an undefeated season. They're fine. Devin, good morning. Jason, there it is. Oh, here's all the happy birthdays to Abner. There it is, man. 80 years old. Shout out to our guy, Abner. Ryan, morning, Matt. Did it feel like there was a bit of LSU love from Nick yesterday? And don't you think this definitely hurts the ACC getting a chance in the playoffs? Remember, Ryan, the ACC champion is going to be in the playoff. That's the thing a lot of people have to remember. Like, I think it hurts Florida State, but the ACC champion is getting in the playoff, and they'll have a bye. The top 4 seeds in the playoffs are the SEC, ACC, Big 10, Big 12 champion. So regardless of record, those are your top 4 seeds. So the ACC is in one of those top 4 seeds. But is it Florida State? Is it Clemson? Is it Miami? Is it Virginia Tech? That's what the season will play out. We'll see. Merrick, Matt, is the UCLA game a home and home? Yes. Remember, we LSU lost at UCLA in 2021. So out in the Rose Bowl. So this is the return game. Leon, hate Williams going to Texas. He deserves to play in better fields than those 2 trash turf fields. Wife is Georgia Tech grad, so she was beaming yesterday. Rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. I do like that fight song. Cause I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. A hell of an engineer. Like all the jolly good fellows that drink my whiskey clear. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. Well, if I had a daughter, sir, I tell you what I do. I put her on the white and gold and cheer the. But if I had a son, sir, I'll tell you what I'd do. He would scream, to hell with Georgia like his daddy used to do. I like fight songs. Hey, Drew. I used to have I still do. I had a CD, which was like Touchdown, college football's favorite fight songs or greatest fight songs. I would listen to that all the time on college football. Like Saturdays, and when I'm sitting at the tailgate, I would just play our fight songs. I love fight songs. The campus of choice to cheer the brave and bold. That's what it is. If I had a daughter, I tell you what I do. I put her on the campus of choice. Cheer the brave and bold. That's what it is. If I tell you what I put her. If I had a daughter, sir, I'd dress her in white and gold and put her on the campus of choice to cheer the brave and bold. That's it. But if I had a son, sir, I tell you what to do. He would scream, to hell with Georgia like his daddy used to do. I'm a rambling wreck from Georgia Tech and a hell of an engineer. You didn't know how nerdy I was on fight songs, did you? Learned something new today. Let's see. Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Did they win last night? I did not stay up to watch the Hawaii game. Brian, good morning. I've been off Facebook since 2021. Great to be back listening live again. Thank you, Brian. Good to be there. And look, if you don't want to be on Facebook, we are on YouTube as well. So you can watch the show on YouTube as well. So shout out. Hey, Lisa, good morning. Thanks. Have a great Sunday to you as well. Casey Catanzaro. This week 1 anxiety is setting in today. Just hope the defense looks confident. It always ratchets up, huh, Casey, when it gets real. It's no longer about practice and spring ball and recruiting, right? Preseason rankings and lists. It's about, okay, it's game week now. It's game week. You're going to go play a game on Sunday. The nerves start to set in. It is pretty fun. Lance, good morning. Matt is pumped as I am for LSU's season. I'm equally down thinking of the Saints season. Yeah, Lance, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't have a lot of great optimism there for the black and gold. I think, maybe if you want the glass half full point of view, maybe you look at what is by opponents' win-loss record of a year ago, right there with Atlanta as the easiest schedules in the NFL. And, maybe in a bad division, you find a way to break through. Jeremy Moore, Matt, happy Sunday. Atlanta, Vegas, 7:00 Friday. What time is your show at MGM? So we're real quick. I want a point of reference there. We are not at MGM. We are not at MGM. We are at Mandalay Bay. Okay. Now, inside of Mandalay Bay, there's the MGM Sportsbook. That's where our show is. But we are at Mandalay Bay. Please, that happened yesterday, too, actually. There was some confusion internally with our staff. We are not we are at Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay. For people going to Vegas, our shows are at Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay. Please, please, please remember this. Our shows in Vegas are at Mandalay Bay. Inside Mandalay Bay, there is I'm not even going to call it the MGM Sport. I'm just going to say there's a sports book. It is an MGM sports book. We are at the sports book inside of Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay. Do not go to the other place. Go to Mandalay Bay if you're looking for us. MGM. We're not at MGM. We're at Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay, Mandalay Bay. Everybody got it? Oh, Mandalay Bay. But you came and you gave without. Anyway. Sonny, what's up? Okay. Robert, morning, Matt. Hope I'm not too late for this question. To be seen. Would you be willing to ask Hester his thoughts on how 18 is decided now? If it being offense, defense, will he comment on such things? Yeah, ask him that on his show. He'll answer that question. I don't know how he feels. What up, Kelly? Good morning. When did you say Mandalay Bay? Kelly, hope you and your family are doing great. Tell everybody I said hello. So you have Venetian. No, Mandalay Bay. Daddy's not saying? Good. Mandalay Bay. Say Mandalay. Mandalay Industries. Craig, Mayweather at a boxing match last night. Switch refs mid-round. Oh, God. Hawaii didn't cover, so it's like a lost. Got it. I just went to the bottom to come back up now because we were like 20 minutes behind on comments. How many teams get to claim the distinction of losing to Georgia and Georgia Tech in consecutive games? Good question. Florida State lost to Georgia in the bowl game last year. Leon, Matt, you know the fight song better than some grads. I love it. I love fight songs. What can I say? It's also an easy one to remember. Kelly Rose, good morning. Merrick. Dr. Etheridge was on point with my broken collarbone in 2018. Diagnosed a nerve issue of my wife's wrist in 30 seconds that her doctors in Ireland couldn't figure out in 8 years. He's pretty awesome. Y'all go see Dr. Etheridge at Brock. By the way, Brock and Parrish need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, call us at Parrish. I mentioned this yesterday, y'all, and y'all have some good questions too. Fortified roofing program over at the state is opening up a new window in September for 300 grants. These are $10,000 grants for the Fortified Roofing Program. If you're interested, we can help you go through the process of applying, getting in the queue, getting your fortified roof installed, all that sort of stuff. So if you have questions, let us know. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Of course, Unique Physique and Restored Motions. Unique Physique is semaglutide, tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss you hear everybody talking about. If you're interested, you want to learn more, you can do the whole thing over telemed, so you don't even have to go into the office, and they can ship your medicine anywhere in the country. So even if you're outside of Baton Rouge, Unique Physique can help. And all throughout August, 50% off your first month's worth of treatment. So check them out, uniquephysique.com. Danny, isn't the top four conference champs, so technically G5 could have a bye? No, it's the Power Four. The G5 is not going to have a bye. Well, I'm thinking about Cincinnati.
I'm going to take a backpack off.
You want to take your backpack off? Did you lay down? Funny. Let me see. Oh, you're good. Okay, good. Hey, listen. I want you to say hi to Dad show. And then you can go back and play, okay? Hold on. First, I want you to say hi to Dad show. And then you can go play. Or watch iPad or whatever you're doing. We're going to say hi. Wait, no. We're going to say hi to Dad show first. Okay. Okay. My boy. Okay, what do we say? What do we say?
Hi, Dad show.
But that was very polite. I love you. Did you sleep so good last night?
Yes.
Why did you wake up at like 8 o'clock this morning? Huh? You could have slept way late.
No,
I love you.
Dad.
What you watching on the iPad, huh?
Yes.
What are you watching?
Drew.
No, on the iPad. What's on the iPad?
YouTube.
YouTube? What does Daddy's hat say?
It was considered a movie.
That's right. What's the website? Paris what?
Built.com.
ParisBuilt.com. That's right. Okay, you can go. I love you. I love you. All right. After watching Trey Lance makes me appreciate not giving up massive draft capital for a QB. Yeah, Leon. Or you could have drafted Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence. You could have. But you know what you don't get is Patrick Mahomes or Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert or Josh Allen if you don't use draft capital for a quarterback. You know what you get? You get Derek Carr and Andy Dalton and Trevor Siemian and Jameis Winston, and that's what you get. You have to take your swing. No risk, no reward. That whole saying, it applies. Look at that. Good start to the betting year with the Georgia Tech money line play. Not bad. Cortland, FSU went right down the field. No real big plays. They looked like they were scared to put it in DJU's hands. Matthew, any whiskey and wine or Scone and tea this week? Whiskey and wine, man, starts this week. T-Bob and I will be in Las Vegas. So whiskey and wine, as soon as the game goes final, we will be at Mandalay Bay inside the sports book at Mandalay Bay. Let's see. Juan, Matt, are you going to see the Killers in Vegas? I don't think so, Juan. Where are they playing? I don't have plans to anyway. I have plans to watch a lot of football and, spend time with friends and cheer for the Tigers and all that stuff. Leon, like that Campbell shirt, what's the website? And do they carry big back sizes for those of us that are bigger? So the website's 929 Misfits. It's pinned. If you just joined us and missed it, this is the latest design up at 929 Misfits. I like it. The star is, of course, Monroe. Number 66, we know that is. I love they have, and the shirt, by the way, is in it's like black, gray, white, a lot of different colors. But if you want to check it out, you can. 929 Misfits pinned in the link. That's where the Nussbus shirt is that I wore yesterday. A lot of you bought Nussbus shirts yesterday after I wore it on the show. So check it out, 929misfits.com. It's pinned in the that's our merch store. So they have like our station merch as well. So like 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, Louisiana Sports.net, Eagle 98.1. You get all that merch there. If you want it, and then the one-off stuff like that are the unique designs you can check out. All right, let's see. Kyrie, hopefully Perk can get as many sacks as New Jersey number. Hey, at 7.5 as a freshman, 5.5 last year. I think he's in line for it. Will the change to college baseball scholarship rules, have they allowed another paid assistant? Yes. Melody, if we order FUSC shirt now, do we think we'll have it before next weekend? Melody, that's the tricky part. I don't think so. And I was literally talking to one of my coworkers about that yesterday. I was like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I should have been like promoting the FUSC shirt for weeks because I don't think it's going to be here before the game. You can try. You can give it a try and see what they say. But the problem is on those merch stores, like, if you set shipping for like two to 3 business days or something, the price goes up. And like, I know that they didn't want to sell $35 t-shirts, So, I guess we could, but that's why the shipping is a little bit longer, because to make it like a 2 to 3 business days, that turnaround, it costs more. And so we didn't want to drive the price up. So, anyway. Merrick, what position is Jonah Williams playing baseball? So he's a center fielder and a left-handed pitcher. So he's a 6'3", 205-pound power-hitting center fielder that runs like a deer and is also a left-handed pitcher that throws low mid-90s, like 93, 95. Tommy, good morning. How do you feel about the LSU defense this season? I mean, Tommy, I feel better today than I did the first day I walked out of practice because I've seen them have enough wins in team periods. I think Blake Baker's got them playing with a different energy. My big hang-up, Tommy, is like, outside of Harold Perkins, you don't have anybody on that defense right now that's like an all SEC caliber player. I mean, at least not that's obvious. I mean, could you have a situation where Braden Swinson coming off the edge ends up with like a double-digit TFL guy and becomes second-team all-conference. Yeah, I mean, that could happen. Could one of these young cornerbacks step up? Could Ashton Stamps maybe take a giant leap this year and have 5 interceptions and become an all-conference? Sure. I just don't look at that defense right now and see guys that look like all-conference, all-America type players. But they don't need to be. They just need to play better as a unit to be much better than they were a year ago. And I think that's possible. Let's see. Devin, Matt, have you had the opportunity to hear the new speakers from the new replay board? I have not, Devin. Haven't been in the stadium while they're on, but I did post a video at the LouisianaSports.net and 104.5 ESPN socials of a video of the new boards, both the north end zone and in the south end zone as well, in the ribbon boards. All right. Let's see. Where am I? Whiskey and Wine Vegas, Mandalay Bay. Yes, EC Ray. So all of our programming. So I'll give you the rundown for this week for those that are going to Vegas and let them know. So we're all flying out Thursday evening. So Friday, OTB and AFR from Mandalay Bay inside the sports book. I can't remember if I think Gordy and Charles were talking about. No, that's not happening. As of now, I don't believe we're having any Saturday programming. Sunday, Eagle 98.1 game day from Mandalay Bay in the sports book in Mandalay Bay. Whiskey and Wine, Eagle postgame, all from the same spot. So we'll be streaming video as well on YouTube, Facebook for all that want to see it, like we normally would for all of our game day stuff. So check us out, or YouTube, I guess not Facebook for Whiskey and Wine as well. But check us out there. That's where we'll be. Let's see. Kelly, we'll be in Vegas and at Palazzo. Okay, doing Hancock Whitney stuff. Hope to see it. We'll be there. You know where to find us. We'll be at Mandalay Bay. I'm ignoring all the comments of you putting other hotels down because I don't want to create any confusion whatsoever, but I see them. Also, I was switching. Yes. So the reason I was saying it a million times is there's been confusion that we are at MGM. We are not. We are at Mandalay Bay. We're at the sports book inside of Mandalay Bay, which is the MGM sports book. But people have confused that to think we're at MGM Grand. We are not, or the MGM. We are not at MGM. We are at Mandalay Bay, but the sports book inside of Mandalay Bay is an MGM sports book. Don't get confused. Just remember the sports book at Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay, Mandalay. Just remember Mandalay Bay. Having just the Power 4 makes it clean and easy compared to the 5, I guess. I mean, unless you had a worthy champion Washington played for the national championship last year out of the Pac-12. If you have a worthy team, it's fine. If Dennis Allen gets fired at the end of the season, or the Saints stuck with Carr until his contract runs out. I've said this so many times, Merrick. You are financially bound to Derek Carr for this year and next. You can off-ramp after next year. You're still going to eat a ton of dead money, but next year your dead cap hit is $51 million if Derek Carr is not on the team. And I just don't think they're going to eat $51 million. So you are financially, and even if he's not on the team, that's still $50 million against your cap. So the only way out of this Derek Carr thing is if Carr all of a sudden becomes a great player, which he's not, or one of the young guys becomes a starting caliber player on a rookie day 3 contract. Casey, Saints win total 7.5 on my app here in Florida, over under. I'm taking the under on that, Casey. I think they're probably 6-11 this year. I think that's where I'm landing. Let's see. Brad, do you like the UCLA fight song? I do like the UCLA fight song. I like Iowa's fight song actually as well. Mm, mm, I, I, bump, bump, IOWA. Anyway, is that the real Caesar's Palace? Dynamite line. Did Caesar live here? No, I didn't think so. Just checking. Let's see. Milton getting ready to leave from Baker to the Saints game. Who dat? There you go. Milton, enjoy the day, man. Mike, good morning. Are the Saints closer to playoff contender or top five pick? Top five pick. The only way I would say playoff contender is because the division isn't good, but Atlanta, I think, is probably separated this year. Saw the stadium yesterday in the practice. New lighting was way better than I expected. Tiger fans will be happy. Brian, don't remember his name. Matt Play, the PR announcer for LSU. Did you see he won't be there this year? Yes, you're talking about Dan Bournet. Yes. Dan Bournet, who's I've known for a long time, man. Like literally since I was probably 10 years old. Great man. Obviously very familiar voice. Bill Franquez will be the interim public address announcer in Tiger Stadium until Dan Bournet comes back. But hopefully all is well there with Deacon Dan, and he can get ship shape and back in Tiger Stadium soon. We'll miss him. Leon, could the LSU defense be like the 09 Saints? Middle of the pack, but aggressive and opportunistic. Good way to put it. Good way to think about it. I mean, that 09 Saints defense was so good at taking the ball away and creating opportunities. Darren Sharper, who is a deplorable human being, but was great on that defense. Yeah, no doubt. Good comp. I hope so. Craig, Matt, do you know if Mandalay Bay has phone banks? I don't know, Craig. I think that's probably a betting reference. I don't know. I'm sorry. I missed the reference. Sorry. I'm not a casino person. I'm sorry. I missed that. It's probably a joke. I don't get it. Go Tigers. Can't wait for Whiskey and Wine. Thank you, man. We're excited for it as well. Hey, yeah. So Whiskey and Wine is sold out. We are very, very pleased to welcome back Got Lit light installers this year. So it's never too early to start thinking about it. You're going to have your Christmas lights. Last year they got booked up so early, and so we're starting their campaign earlier this year. And so my expectation is they staffed up even more, or they staffed up even more. So my expectation is they'll be able to help even more people. So Got Lit lights, it's turnkey. They come to your house, they install your lights for the holiday and for Christmas season. When it's over, they come pick it up, take it away, and store it. It's that easy. And they're gorgeous. They did our home last year. So Got Lit light installers and a Home Field apparel. So were with us last year and they bought every game. So Got Lit and Home Field are our two sponsors for the whole season. We might be working something out as well with a cigar brand. Excited to tell you more about if we can push that across the finish line. But yeah, man, really excited. Mike, besides Fuanga, any... There's no N. It's just pronounced Fuanga, but it's Fuaga, but it's pronounced Fuanga. Are there any rookies starting today? Maybe today. Like Bub Means may start today. Because maybe you don't play Olave and Shaheed. Defensively, not that I can think of defensively. No. Let's see. NOLA TX. We'll be staying at Mandalay Bay. Hope to see you guys Sunday. We'll be there. I'm not staying at Mandalay Bay, by the way. We tried, but they were booked. Matt, will you be in the sports book at Mandalay Bay? We will be. Jeff, what up, my dude? I'll look at you with a new profile picture. Jeff, good to see you, man. Hope all is well, my dude. Mark Allen, T-Bob in Vegas. I'll pray for you. I think T-Bob's going to be fine. Seriously, I think T-Bob will be fine. T-Bob, whether it's in Hoover, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Dallas, Texas, Mobile, like wherever you go, T-Bob is T-Bob. Like he's going to make his time what it is. He just he'll do his T-Bob, and but he'll be on air. I know that much. 5 a.m. It's 5 a.m. local time too for OTB. So like after the game Sunday, Monday morning, 5 a.m. T-Bob and Hester are on air in Vegas, but he'll be there. I guarantee you. The other thing to remember, though, the kickoff is 4:30 local time. So it'll be 4:30 in Vegas. So the game will end at at 8. So we'll be done with whiskey and wine by 9:30 Vegas time, which would be 11:30 Central, but we'll be done at 9:30 out there. So he could, in theory, just go hit sack and get a good night's sleep and do a show. The problem for T-Bob is probably after whiskey and wine, he's probably going to go try to find a lot of fun. And then, which will make that 5 a.m. start time on Monday challenging. All right, a few more. This may be a stupid question because you would have mentioned it, but can you trade dead money on the cap if you want to trade Derek Carr? No. Dead money means that counts against your cap no matter what. If you off-ramp off of Derek Carr after 2025, it allows you to spread money for future years. But then again, then he's still just lingering on. It's not all in one, but it's still like lingering on your cap for longer. But no, next year, Derek Carr is going to count, unless if they restructure his deal again next year, which would be terrible because then you're just continuing to exacerbate the problem. But Derek Carr is going to count one way or another 50 million plus against your cap next year. Someone needs to get T-Bob's Allen hangover t-shirt. Craig, hangover. Alan asked about phone banks to make a call. Oh, no. Got it. In case the beeper goes off. Got it. That was in the Caesars part. Right. Kelly Good, you didn't. Steve from Callaway's is in Vegas often. He said they had bed bugs. Oh, God. Wait, so you're talking about Mandalay? So we were trying to get at Mandalay. They were booked. So they were going to put us at Luxor. Erica is coming with me, and she went on TikTok and looked up Luxor and was like, yeah, no. So we are staying at Aria. If it was just me, I'd have been like, all right, I'll take the free room at Luxor. But Erica's coming with, so we'll go stay at Aria. I've stayed at Aria, and it's beautiful, and that's probably my favorite hotel in Vegas. So I'm happy to stay there. So, okay, y'all, I think we're done. Do me a favor. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock. You need an orthopedist, Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout at Parrish. All of our sponsors, they're linked in the description. I'll make sure they're linked as well on Facebook. Locked on LSU is already live, so please, if you're looking for some LSU content, go subscribe to the Locked on LSU podcast or on YouTube. And what else? All right, guys, we're just about finished. Appreciate y'all so much. Have an awesome day. It's game week. Who dat? Please, if you have not done so yet, check out LouisianaSports.net, y'all. Very, very proud of our game day content that we're putting out. So you can follow along with us here on game day, Saints game day. We'll have stuff pregame, in-game updates as well as post-game. So please check it out at LouisianaSports.net. Bookmark it and visit it every single day. Tell your friends, share links and stuff. Had a great first week, but we're needing to do that. And if anybody owns a business and you're interested in sponsorship, we have tons of them available. Very, very reasonable as well at LouisianaSports.net as we just get launched. I mean, like, kind of just giving it away to develop partnerships for LouisianaSports.net. So if you own a business, we'd love to talk to you about it. Okay. Y'all have an awesome, awesome day, and we'll see you. Who dat? Go Tigers. Go Tigers.